Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to install and configure MRF. MRF means Malware Repository Framework. It provides a storage for samples, classifications, and automated analysis. MRF has multiple modules that connect to third-party scanners like VirusTool, hybrid analysis, and you can even configure your own Cuckoo sandbox. So let me show you. First, you need to get your MRF archive with the source code inside and unzip it. You will find the zip with your invoice after you bought the framework. To install the framework, you need to go on the documentation and follow each step one by one. So here we are. I'm going to install the prerequisites first, and then we'll see you for the installation. Okay, now that I'm done with the requirements, my web server should be running, localhost. Here we go. So now we have everything ready to go, and we need to put the sources into the Apache folder. So usually it's on um, /var freew, and this is where you need to put the sources. HTML, sorry, and here you need to put the sources. So let's remove the existing page. This is the Apache default page. You need to remove it from the command line, otherwise it doesn't work. And actually you need to move the sources with the command line as well. So let's go to /var freew HTML. Let's remove the existing index. Yes, with sudo. Okay, so now let's move my sources to the /var /freew HTML folder. My sources are in download, so I'm just going to do a move this down. Everything to /var /freew HTML MRF. No, to the root. Here we are. Everything is here. So now we need to configure the website. If you browse to localhost again, you will see that I would say unable to connect to the database. Verify config.php. So this is our next step. Now we head up to the installation page. And the first thing to do is, of course, unzip and extract the sources to directory, what we've done, and then edit your configuration file. So we need to edit config.php. So before we do that, we also need to create a database. So we open phpMyAdmin. This is what we've installed in the prerequisites. And we are going to create a new database. New database. I'm going to call it MRF. And that's it. You see it's already the good name in the config file. I just need to change the MySQL password. Um, Next, I need to change, of course, the URLs. So for now, we are on localhost. And storage path. So the best practice is to put the storage path outside of the public repository, which is the HTML. So the best would be to put it on your machine somewhere in /data or somewhere in there. But for the test here, I'm just going to create it here. So let's do it. Let's do mkdir storage. And the other important thing is to give the proper rights to it. So as you can see, it was created under root, and I need to change that to use the test account. So I'm going to do chown test storage. Made a mistake with sudo, and that's it. So now the Apache website will be able to browse, to write into that folder and to read into it. So the full path is /var/freew html storage. And if you put that folder outside of the public folder, you also need to change with chown, you need to change the rights, the permissions, and you need to also add that path to the allowed directory into your Apache configuration or PHP configuration. This is why I just put it in here for now for testing, because it's easier to test, and then as a second step you can move it outside and configure your allowed directories. So storage path is good. Storage URL, that will be, that is actually not used anymore. But if your storage directory is inside the public directory, that means you can access it with that URL. But this is not used anymore. You can leave it for now. And what's next? The modules, by default, it's using Cuckoo. I don't need to. I don't have any. Varistol, you need to put your key in here. So I'm gonna switch it off for now. There is a YED server, so you can configure your own YED server. It's a website framework to store your Yara rules. So with MRF, you can test your samples against your whole rules repository, see if it matches some rules. So the configuration is here. And there is hybrid analysis, which is a public sandbox service. That's the same, you need an API key you put in here. So I'm going to configure that offline so that you don't see my API keys, but you will be able to see the results in the index page. So that's it for now. I just need to go offline to put my API keys and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, that's it. This is configured. I have my database. Let's check what's next. Browse to the root of the project. Install page will show. So let's do it again. No database installation has been found. So it could connect to the database, but there's no table because we did not create any. So let's create all the tables with this install button. Simple as that. So before you move to another page, be careful. Since it's the installation, there's an administrator account created in here. So you need to save that. If you browse elsewhere, it's gone. Okay. Um, Unless you change it in a database, of course, but it's easier if you just save it now. So let's log in with the admin account and the password I just saved. Save it. And now I'm going to show you full screen because it's configured and it's working. So this is my account page where there is your token, your API key that you can use for your clients or your scripts. And this is the dashboard. There is no data for now because we don't put any sample yet. So let's take a look at the settings first. You can change your account settings, uh, change the temporary password if you want, put an email, an avatar. And in the other settings, you can also turn on the email notifications. This is mostly when there's some activity on discussions, we'll say that later, or when someone puts a new comment on a sample that you have uploaded. You can also put your own Varistol API key if you don't want to use the global key put it in the config file. This is usually a company key, so everyone will comment and upload on behalf of that company. So if you want to avoid that and you use your own key, you can put it in here. And whenever you upload a new sample or put a new comment on Varistol, this will be under your own account. Um, since you are administrator, you can access the administration panel where you can configure the website name, uh, activate email activation, and that's it. Let me show you the permissions real quick. So whenever someone new logs in, registers a new account, this is the permissions that are put on his account automatically by default. So by default, someone will be a new member. This is a neutral permission. It doesn't give anything. It will be a downloader. That means that account will be able to download the new samples to be an uploader, so it can send new sample. And there's other permissions that you can give to people randomly. Editor, that permission gives ability to change comments on samples or edit the actual information of the samples, like the thread name, change the uploader, something like this. Some sandbox uploader gives the ability to submit files for analysis on Cuckoo or Hybrid analysis. Varistol uploader, it's the same, but for Varistol, you can submit samples to it. And contributor is the ability to send comments to Varistol. Yet uploader is again the same thing, but for Yara framework website. So yeah, you can change the new user default according to your needs. That's it for the settings. So let's upload the sample and see what's going on. So I'm going to submit that file. This is a 64-bit PE file. And you can add some tags. This is a good where, I know it. You can turn on or off Varistol and Hybrid analysis. And when you're good to go, just submit the files. Now, when I go back to my dashboard, I can see the sample was uploaded, but it's currently with a purple background because it's pending for analysis. So when you submit sample, it's not analyzed right now. It's just added to the tables with a job element for the cron. So let's run the cron. There's two cron actually. There's the first one, which is cron.php, that performs tasks like retrieving missing informations or updating existing informations. This is not what we want. There's another cron called analysis cron. This is the one that pulls the new jobs from the tables and performs analysis on the samples. So this page should be added to the cron table. I will not cover that in this tutorial because there's a lot of tutorials already on the internet, and this may change across the different operating systems. So this is not a very hard task to do. So yeah. So the cron performed analysis for the sample I've just uploaded. Now let's go back to my dashboard. And you see the purple background has disappeared. Now I get an icon. I get uh, Aristotle score and hybrid analysis score. So let's open the sample page. So this is the sample page. This is where all the information about the sample can be viewed. You have the general tab with all the properties that are very important for that sample so that you have everything in front of you directly on the first page. You can get the file name, who uploaded the sample, the last seen date, memo type, TRID, if any. You get the signer if the PE is signed with a certificate. Cuckoo Sandbox results, if any, virus total score. You can click, I don't know if you see there is a link to it. So if you click here, it opens the virus total page, the Yara results, if any, and the hybrid analysis score. And the same, there's a link to the page. I can open it if you want. So it opens the report. This is not a new report. This is an old report that was found via the API. So when the sample is not on hybrid analysis, it will be submitted automatically. You can change that in the config file, but this is the default behavior. I can retrieve my tags, add some URL if needed. You can reschedule analysis, entire analysis, or just the virtual part, the sandbox part, PE data, remove the sample if you have the right to. There's variable comment. You can add a comment and send. It will be on the variable page. In discussion tab, you can start a discussion about the sample and get replies. The PE data tab shows only if the file is a PE file, of course. Otherwise, it will be hidden. There's other hidden tabs that you don't see at this moment because the type doesn't mismatch. So you can have PDF data or Office data, according if it's PDF or an Office document. So let's see what's in the PE. You can retrieve the sections and download them if you want. The resources. There's version information. You can see company name, copyright, and so on. If there is any PDB path, it will be here. Digital signature, you will see the signature if it's digitally signed. And in the strings, you have all the raw strings. These strings are from, no, these strings are from the resources, there is none. And this one are extracted from the whole file. You can filter with a search. And there's the same thing here, but in a bigger view. So if you want, you can just select everything and copy it for processing outside of the browser. You have the address, and if it's a Unicode or ANSI string, that may help. The image doesn't load here for some reason, but when it's working, you have a bin to image. This is an image of the binary data and the X data. This is only the first 65 kilobytes for performance reasons. So you can have an overview of what's inside. And that's it for the sample page. You can share the link if you want to refer to a sample when discussing with someone. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. So let's search. There is not much to search, but you can open the search part here and put anything in the magic search or use the dedicated fields like the uploader name, thread name, um, if the file was submitted for cuckoo analysis and as results or not. Um, Same for varstol, hybrid analysis. Let's take a moment to try this. Goodware. So it found my goodware. Now if I search something else like goodware 2, nothing is found. This is expected. You can clear the search here and reset here. Discussions. The discussions are like forum threads where you can ask for a new sample or an information regarding a thread to can create your question. I need for a sample of ransomware. You can add a link to some interesting page related to your request, and my thread name is ransom like Warcry. This is the MD5 I need. You can leave it empty if you don't know the MD5. I'm looking for that sample and submit. Now you can browse to your question, and now people can see it into the browse part. Here it is. They can open it and answer to you. I got it. Here it is with the link to your MRF sample. Now you are happy and you can close the discussion. It's marked resolved and everyone can see it's resolved and it's not needed anymore. So that's it for discussions. Maybe useful if you are looking for something. The URL tracker, I will not cover that part here because it's quite complex, but everything is in the documentation. Basically, it's just a way to harvest for new samples based on URLs. Well, on URL patterns. You create a URL pattern with regex inside, and the engine behind it will try many different combinations matching that regex. When it finds some sample with it, it's automatically uploaded to the repository. And there's a cuckoo page, but here it won't work because there's no cuckoo configured. But if it's working, you will be able to see the version, the available matchings, the current state of CPU and disk, the current task running or existing, and open the links to them. And yeah, that's it. So this ends my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any question or concern regarding your MRF installation, don't hesitate to contact the support or leave a comment. Thank you.